There we go. Man, I've been having all kinds of technical issues this morning. Welcome to TKR Live. I'm TC Kirkham, TKR Video Central, and TKR uh, Chart Zone, the name of the new channel. If you're out there, thank you. Hang in there. It's coming. I'm not sure how far behind I am on YouTube, a minute or two, but it should be showing up over there shortly. Um, I'm glad you guys are here. If you're here, say hi, shout, whatever. Um, Hopefully, this is going to work out. We'll be doing this um, every Sunday at noon. At least that's what the plan is right now. I don't have any particular topic or anything definitely set up for today. So if you want to hear, want to discuss something or want to just stop by and say hi, that's cool too. Um, those of you guys who don't might be checking me out for the first time, I run TKR Video Central. I've been doing that for a little over 5 years, going on 6 years actually, and having the time of my life doing it with all kinds of music and stuff. And I have lots of people over there who come in and say hi over there as well. Run both long form shows and vinyl community shows and all bunch of stuff. So I hope you will be able to stop by if you haven't checked it out already. The reason I'm doing a live show is because I was talking to Dawn, my co host on Finding Your Music Mojo, which is a bi weekly live stream until a few weeks ago, and it's coming back in February after they get settled in their new home in Costa Rica. Um, but it is one of those things where she's like, "You really do need to do a live stream," and I'm like, "Why?" Because every time I do a live stream, nobody shows up. So we'll see. We'll see what happens today. Um, Musically, been doing a lot of changes on the channel, a lot of changes on my schedule. I have some new shows coming. This is one of them. I have a few other things going on. I'm still not finished doing. I have still haven't put the lights up on the wall yet behind me, which I'm going to be doing. They'll be there for next week's show. I promise. Um, lots of interesting stuff coming, and I hope that you will continue to check it out. If you haven't seen the other stuff, I do a bunch of long form shows, which are 2 hour mix shows. I do one for heavy metal called Friday Night Hair Salon on Fridays. I do Saturday Night Disco Party on Sundays, and AM 70s, which has been off for the last few weeks. It'll be back a week from tonight. Let me say hi to Dawn. Hi, Dawn. Thank you for coming in. Much appreciated. Uh, Always can count on you to be by. Um, and I'm doing some new long form shows that should premiere this week or next week. Uh, a topic based one called The Music Decks, and another one all from movies called Tuesday Night at the Movies. It'll be on Tuesdays. And I do an afternoon long form show, Celestial Journeys, on Wednesday. So we're going to be doing a lot more in the near future. Um, as far as I everybody knows I'm the pop guy in the VC. Everybody else is heavy metal or jazz or prog or whatever. Me, I'm listening to pop and new pop and digital music. And this show will be about talking about that, but also my regular show, the Kirkham Report, which will be back on Saturday. It's a kind of a magazine show, and also all the other stuff I'm doing. And I have a new channel called Chart Zone where I'm going to be doing just some silly lists in addition to putting up the chart shows that I do for TKR Video Central. Um, it's it'll be interesting to see what happens. I'm hoping people will enjoy those. The first one of those went up on Thursday on TKR Chart Zone, as it says there on the scroll. You can subscribe by going to that site. It is 75 sensitive male classics from the 1970s, basically little snippets of songs that came from the era of Alan Alda. Kim and I put it together, my wife and I, and we got a whole list of other stuff we're going to be doing in the next few weeks. So that's always fun. So, what's shaking out there with you? I've been listening to some new music. I'm going to be reviewing music more on my shows this year. one of the resolutions I made was I promised to do a new album and a vinyl community recommended album. Got the new album, the first one I'm going to do this week, probably both on my Substack and on TKR on Saturday. Will be a new album that isn't technically out yet, unless you want to get it at Bandcamp. It'll hit all the other streaming services later this month. From Malcolm Craig of the Aubreys. He's going by Malsey on this new album. It's an experimental electronic album, and I will be talking about that this weekend. I also have a recommendation for an older one from Dawn that I'm going to try and fit in this week, and I'll start reviewing more stuff on the shows and on this show as well. Um, Basically, this show is here for you, just for us to chat and talk about music or movies or wrestling or whatever you want to talk about, because you guys know I'm into all of those. Um, if you want to, pop in, let me know. I can send up the StreamYard link. The um, the fun thing about doing a show like this is it's just going to be freeform. My friends Dawn and Mary of Two Hip Chicks do their shows every Tuesday and Thursday, and they started on a lark too, and they've been going for 5 years now. Currently on break because they just moved to Costa Rica last week, on Friday, as a matter of fact. And so it's going to be all kinds of things. Uh, just going to be a free form type of show, and if you guys have a topic, let me know. Um, for those of you who may be into music collecting, Dawn and Mary have been sending me tons of 45s over the last few months. I already had a large 45 collection before I got involved with the vinyl community in 2020, because I was stuck at home from COVID. All the stay at home, work from home thing. Um, it's now expanded to 4 times what it was, and a lot of that has come from Dawn and Mary just in the past year. I've done a number of specials on Out of the Box, and then when I wasn't doing specials, they were on the Kirkham Report itself. I've highlighted close to 2 or 3,000 45s that they've sent me over the last year. That doesn't include what I bought on Whatnot from them and at Cajun Roots resellers auctions. Um, I'm out the wazoo in 45s at the moment, so I will be going through them, digitizing them, getting them logged in Discogs over the next few weeks, and that's what we're going to be doing on this show a lot of the time. It's just chatting while I'm logging, and it's going to be an interesting experience because so many of these songs that they sent me, I don't know. There's a lot of popular songs, but there's a lot of stuff from the 50s and 60s, a lot of novelty songs, a lot of Christmas music, and a lot of them I don't know. And I pride myself on my musical knowledge. My wife and I are always facing off on the trivia tests on TV, on YouTube, and such. And we usually come out pretty even. She knows her heavy metal, I know my pop, and I know more country than she does. So that's always kind of fun. Um, and I'm doing one of those myself here, relaunching it actually. That should start on Saturday. Um, but some things, there's so much that I got from them that I don't know. I've just got another shipment I put up and out of the box yesterday. I'll just grab a few of them out of here. Most of these are stuff that I did know, or they were specialty things. But I mean, there's really all of these United States Army discs that came from them. These are like, I don't know. I guess the recruiting service put them out with popular hits on them and popular artists trying to help out. I got 10 or 12 of those over the last 2 or 3 shipments. And then she'll send me popular stuff like Love Song from Anne Murray. And Here Comes the Judge, Shorty Long, and stuff like that. Patrick, welcome. Thank you for stopping by. Um, and then there's stuff I don't know. Um, So I managed to pull mostly. I like this cover of Hey Jude by Captain Milk. I have no idea what that is. So I have, like I said, close to 3,000 45s that Dawn and Mary have sent me. over the past year, some of which I bought, some of which I didn't buy. And it's been kind of crazy. Trying to find room for everything. Now I know I won't be getting any more because they've moved. It's over. Everything else has gone to auction, and now I can start sorting and listening and stuff. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 24 boxes in the last year, which is crazy. And that doesn't even include what I had before or what I bought from them before. So it's going to be an interesting year to 2026. Um, I can't see really. I see a couple people here in the chat room and watching the show. So thank you for coming by, Patrick and Don and whoever else is out there. We are available, by the way. If you're not watching it, if you don't have YouTube or don't want to deal with YouTube, you can also watch us on Facebook and Twitch. The show will run on all three places. And if you want me to, I suppose I can look into TikTok. I don't do TikTok much at all. I have an account over there, but I don't really post over there. I just got it because I watch certain people who have accounts, mostly wrestlers and actors. Um, Truth be told, I got it because Marco Stunt had one and he was putting music up on it. And Marco is an amazing musician, for those of you who don't know. And he I don't know what he's doing right now. He kind of between. He retired as a wrestler a few months ago because of his back, so he's working on a few things. And I do know he's working on some music. Hopefully, it'll come out and we'll see it eventually. Got to turn that. I can't keep. I don't know how Dawn and Mary do this because I cannot watch YouTube and StreamYard at the same time because YouTube is about 10 seconds behind, and it makes me crazy that the different stuff there. Um, I do cassettes, Patrick. I don't have a lot of them. Most of my tapes are in storage. Um, when we moved here, we didn't have room for everything, and so I put all my cassette singles and all my cassettes, which together made up three of those 100 slot cassette things. Kim has tons of cassettes. They're also in storage. I do buy them if I most of mine came from the cutout bin. But I still pick them up if I see something interesting that I haven't seen on an album or something. Um, yes, we did hear of Bob Weir's passing yesterday. Um, I don't know what to say about people when I don't really know their careers. I'm not a huge Grateful Dead fan. I do like certain songs, but I'm not nearly the fan as a lot of the classic rock people in the vinyl community. But Bob Weir is going to be an incredible loss to the music industry. He's done so much stuff over the last 40, 50, 60 years now, that it is absolutely um, going to cement the dude in future generations will know who he is, and he will be heard. Music, of course, his own music as well as the Dead, and Jerry's been gone for a long time, will be heard, for decades, if not centuries to come. I'm actually kind of surprised they didn't use something from the Grateful Dead as classical music in one of the Star Trek movies, like they kept doing with Beastie Boys and a few other things. Um, but yeah, that's a tremendous loss to the music industry. Um, as I said, I honestly can probably count the number of Dead songs I know on one hand. I actually have "Touch of Grey," the single, and I think I have. I think it's Uncle John's Band. Is that the correct name of it? I think I have a single of that too. Um, the rest of the stuff I just know from hearing it on classic rock radio. So it's not something that I've been overly familiar with, but I've never disliked their music. It's just not in my usual wheelhouse. I suppose I should probably try it sometimes. I mean, I'm getting to be a bit old. I mean, I'm set in my ways just like everybody else in the vinyl community. But, you know, I try to stay open to new music, which is one of the things that bugs me about a portion of the vinyl community who, if it's not on vinyl, they won't listen to it. And I just keep thinking, dude or dudette, you are missing so much great new music out there by not listening to digital music, either on CD or streaming. So many of the artists I've fallen in love with over the last couple of years do streaming only. Or you might luck out, they might issue something on a limited vinyl. I have some of those from a couple of Eurovision stars and others on CD, but most of it comes from Amazon Music or Bandcamp, and it's just digital only. And my digital only album of the year last year was Bright Soul by Tristan Lake LeBeau. If you don't know who he is, um, I know Don knows who he was. He was on Young and the Restless for years as an actor, and he played Superman's son in Superman Returns in 2006, I think it was. Now he's a full time musician and doing some great stuff. He has a very old school 60s, early 70s style rock that reminds me of the Grateful Dead or John Fogerty or some of them. And I love what he's doing, but he's digital only. He does. I have actually spoke with him online. He does want to do it on vinyl. The first album, at least, Living in Yesterday, which was also top notch. Um, he does want to do them on vinyl eventually, but he hasn't had the funds to do it. He's kind of, you know, he's a working musician now. Um, and doing vinyl costs a fortune, especially if you don't want to spend a lot, but you want to do quality stuff. Um, Vinyl's always cool, and I get it whenever I can. But over the last year, I have stopped so much with the price rises. I mean, the vinyl price rises have been crazy. Record store day prices jumped about 40% last year. I'm not going to, I probably won't end up getting anything this year on record store day unless there's something I really, really have to have. I will probably pass over it because I just won't have the funds. Right now, things are kind of tight, and I only bought one thing off the Bandcamp off the Mousy because I'm a big fan and I wanted to hear it. Um, but that I have a little bit of stash for stuff like that. Um, well, Dawn, you must not like fish very well then, right? Fish and oh, there's another. Who is the other band in the '90s that were doing like forever, taking forever to do one song? Blues, was it Blues Traveler? Um, yeah, I'm not much into that either. Although I don't mind it when they run. I notice we've seen this is that makes a great segue. There's a lot of songs have gone up and down over the years to the point where in the early '90s songs were running as long as 4 or 5 minutes, and November Rain was 8.5 minutes. Now we're back down to songs that are less than 3 minutes for the most part, all these hits. And I'm like, at first I didn't think that was a great idea, but yet I'll listen to them and I'm like, yeah, that goes back to the 60s when songs were like 2 minutes and 20 seconds and you enjoyed it and played it a lot. I'm doing that a lot with the current stuff too, because it's all dropped down below 3 minutes now. And I guess that's because of the attention span issue. I don't know if anybody of the TikTok generation would have the patience to listen to November Rain if it came out today. Um, just an observation. Yep, and Patrick, I know you're into those. You've done your own show with hair metal. I've got Friday night hair salon every Friday night on TKR Video Central. Um, I love I see that's the weird thing. I got into hair metal backdoor. Um, I was strictly pop and disco when I was a teenager, and then a family friend introduced me to album rock, and I got into Def Leppard. And from the very first album, and been fans of theirs forever, but they led to all the stuff in the 80s that became huge. So I became a huge hair metal fan too. Bands like Winger, especially. I love Winger and Hardline, Warrant, Rat, all of them, and practically every band I play on Friday Night Hair Salon. I like some that people don't like, or at least don't acknowledge liking, like Bad for Good and Nelson. And I am an if there ever I always say that I have my big trilogy, my triumvirate, my trilogy, my trinity. It's Def Leppard, the Carpenters, and Hanson. Two acts that might end up in that grouping eventually. One is a recent act, Lucas Graham, and I would probably say there's a good chance another hair band would get in there. I don't know which one. Um, I like so much because it's just the way I am. I like a little bit of everything. Um, this year should be interesting. Okay. Diamante 1987. All right, I will check that out. I don't know. Is that a band, Patrick? Or is that the name of a band, Diamante? If it is, I'll check it out. And I'm sure Kim, if Kim hasn't already, because she has heard of way more than I have. She is the official hair metal consultant for the show. Um, okay, cool. I will check it out. Um, in fact, I will write it down right now so I don't forget it, and then I can pull it up on my Spotify and check it and see what we got. Um, I totally forgot what I was going to say, but that's okay. Live isn't live wonderful. Um, the thing about the hair metal show, I haven't had anybody ask me yet, but I've been doing it for I think we're up to 22 shows now. I've missed a few because of stuff going on, but I've tried to do it every week, every Friday at 9 on TKR Video Central, and um, there's one band missing, and that is by choice, not by necessity. I do not play Metallica. It's not that I don't like Metallica. I did like the Black Album especially and the Covers album, which I got for Christmas a few years ago. But I refuse to play their music because of Lars Ulrich, in all honesty. Um, Patrick, that sounds awesome. Please do. Um, as far as I'm concerned, Lars Ulrich destroyed the music industry back in 1999, cost me my job with discjockey.com, and with all the lawsuits and such. And we could get into that. I should probably make that a discussion one of these days. The double indemnity that they get away with in the music industry. But I digress. I don't want to do that. It's a personal choice. So if you're listening to Friday Night Hair Salon and don't hear Metallica, but you do hear Megadeth, Scorpion, some harder stuff, Dragon Force, who I love, um, and that's why I just can't. I won't condone what Lars Ulrich did to the music industry, and I just won't play it. And I know people get mad at me. They're not hair metal. It is speed metal, but you notice it is a metal, hair metal and adjacent show. I play. I've played Motorhead. I've played Dragon Force. I love Dragon Force. I've played Scorpions, which I think lean more toward heavy metal rather than hair metal. Aerosmith. But to me, it's all adjacent to hair metal because they were all popular at the same time. So that's why I focus on that stuff. Hey. Kindred spirit, Patrick. Thank you. Yeah, Iron. I haven't done Iron Maiden yet, and it's mostly because I don't have any. I've never been a big fan, but I've been. I'll get some eventually, and put on like the big hits. The same with Judas Priest. I'll probably end up doing that too. Um, so if you guys are new and you haven't checked it out, Friday Night Hair Salon. A new show goes up every Friday at 9 on TKR Video Central, and of course you can listen to it at any time, just like all the long form shows. And they will all be available on Mixcloud eventually. That's one of the things I'm trying to do while I'm on vacation from my job this week. Get everything caught up and squared away. And Mixcloud is one of the things I've been working on for a year. I was originally going to do original shows over there, but I don't have the time. Um, it's uh, it's going to be an interesting year, like I said earlier. Um, in addition to the hair metal and the disco show, which is, I mean, I was less than 200 subs, and now I'm at 800, like 1600 plus, and it's all because of the disco show and AM 70s. Um, the disco show's fun. AM 70s, which I was going to try and get back on today, but it's going to be one more week. It'll be back on the, what is that, the 17th, 18th, the 18th, next Sunday. It'll be back. Um, those two shows have been a great boon for me, and now I have another show. I'm premiering Tuesday, if all goes well. Tuesday night at the movies. It'll all be movie songs, mostly pop hits, but there will be some score tracks. And most of them will be from the 70s forward, although there'll be a few from the 50s and 60s, I'm sure, here and there. But it's going to be another 2 hour show, and I hope that you'll like it. It's because I love movies and I love movie music. We hosted our own movie podcast for 14 years, Subject Cinema. Ran from 2006 to 2020. We were on Libsyn for the longest time, and then we just, when COVID hit, we changed things around. Haven't got back to it. Kim and I will be working on a few other things, though. Um, uh, you may be cool, but you'll never be Bruce Dickinson throwing horns while. Oh, that's good. Okay. Um, yeah, so there are going to be all kinds of cool movie stuff on that show, and I hope you'll check it out. I'm hoping it'll be up Tuesday. I'm just having problems with the background. Is the big problem with that. The show is done. I had actually recorded it for Mixcloud last year, but I never put it up because I was trying to do something else. Um, any case, I hope you'll check it out. Um, anybody out there want to talk about what they're liking, what they're doing, and mostly why they came by? I'd love to know. I try to do my best in the vinyl community. Some people kind of look at me like the redheaded stepchild because I don't do all of the same. I'm very nonconformist. Um, I don't do the same kind of stuff. I do a little bit of everything. And my I picked my theme song a few years ago for a contest and chose "Make Your Own Kind of Music" from Cass Elliot. And at the time, there was a great cover out by Paloma Faith, because it truly is what I am. Oh, Patrick, you're so sweet. Thank you. I appreciate that. Um, I truly march to the sound of my own drummer. I don't follow the trends. I mean, there's a lot of my friends on the vinyl community who are into a little bit of everything. Um, and there are people I'm friends with that are into stuff I can't stand, but I like them. Um, and so that's kind of where I am. I think some people like me for me rather than my choices of music. I mean, you're talking to the guy that'll listen to Edgar Winter Group, ABBA, Leif Garrett, disco, and heavy metal all in one day. So I got, if you go back and watch my review thing for 2025, I had some interesting choices on Spotify this year. Mostly stuff I lost when I had the drive crash last year, late 24, and I'm glad, Don. Thank you. I hope you're enjoying what you see. Um, and check out the new channel if you haven't done so. Um, I go out there and I try to be me. And some people don't like that. When I first joined the vinyl community, I got some rude comments from people. I was told, hey, that's okay. Don't let them get to you. They just do that to everybody that doesn't conform to their way. So I didn't, and I've lasted 5.5 years at this point, and all by doing my own thing. Like, I think everybody knows that of the vinyl community, there are people who are experts in everything, different artists, Mazzy or Rachel, anything you want to know about the Beatles, they can run it off for you. And there's about 2,500 other people that do Beatles. Um, Emma over at 8 Vinyl Low, she is about the most in depth Cheap Trick fan I have ever seen. Melinda Murphy can give you Van Halen stats backward and forward. With me, it's Hanson. I am a Hanson fanatic, and I have been since their debut album, Middle of Nowhere, in 20, God, almost 30 years ago. um, I can wax poetic backward and forward. Oh, Don, thank you. That's really, truly one of the nicest things anybody's ever said to me. If there's anything, Kim always says she has a pinball machine for a mind, going back and forth with full of useless trivia. I enjoy useless trivia. It's fun. That's what makes life fun. Useless trivia. Where did I put that? Useless trivia like comes up in these books that I have, my chart books, which are becoming uh, a Bible to me because I'm doing a new. The quiz show is going to be back next Saturday, but it's going to have a different format. We're going to base it on the charts rather than just random stuff as I had done in the past. Um, I enjoy everything. I listen to everything. No, actually, Don, you have not told me that. That's kind of cool. I bet there's no shrine to them though, because you're up in. If I'm not mistaken, you're in Chicagoland somewhere, right? I'm there. One of the things I've always wanted to do. It's a bucket list for me. I've never made it to Hanson Day, which is every May in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I'm not so sure they're doing them anymore. They've been giving some weird signs over the past year that make me think that they're about to pull the plug. Um, when they reach the end of the fan club is ending as a fan club in February. Um, so I don't know what they're doing, but I've always wanted to get to Tulsa to Hanson Day and then make a side trip to Pahuska to visit the Pioneer Woman's Ranch. I love Ree Drummond, big fan, and I've never done that. I would. It's on my bucket list, just like on my bucket list, musical bucket list. Ah, okay, yeah, I know where that is. I have some. One of the wrestling companies goes to Rockford at the arena there. Probably, I don't remember which one. Um, or used to. I don't know if they still do. Um, Another bucket list is to be able to attend Eurovision live. Um, I'm a Eurovision fanatic. You guys who watch my channel know that. And we're getting into Eurovision season right now. We just ended Junior Eurovision, and already the song selections are starting for this year's contest in May. So you'll be hearing a lot about that in the near future. This is the kind of thing that differentiates me from the vinyl community. I'm not talking about prog. I'm not talking about jazz. I certainly respect those people who do that, and they are very knowledgeable. But I tackle what I know: Hanson, Def Leppard, Carpenters, Eurovision, disco, some hair metal. I like a little bit of everything, but those are my areas of expertise. If you like trivia, in addition to doing my own show, let me plug. I wish I could remember the name of the channel. I'll try to get it and stick it in the show description later. Um, we watch a newer channel. It just started a couple months ago, featuring a dude. It's animated, and they host and do this stuff. Um, Dude called Melvin. He's an alien, and they run all over the place, from just general trivia to music to photos to everything. Twice a week, he got stuff up, and that I we love that show. Um, uh, I can't. I don't have a subscribe. I'm not subscribed on TKR either, so I can't check it. Kim has a subscription. We watch it on hers, and he's a lot of fun. I think it's called Brainiac's Trivia Vortex, if it doesn't, if I'm not mistaken. So look that up if you're into that stuff. And I hope everybody will check out the Pop 50 Chart Challenge starting this Saturday again at 11 a.m. Going to be a lot of fun. Um, Lots of plans coming. I talked on my preview show about another obsession I have, which is old cable television. I have actually been working on a a bulletin board style channel. It's just a lark. With the I don't know if how many of you guys are old enough to remember this. Um, Back in the day when cable was starting in the early 1980s, there were often local channels that were used for a community bulletin board, for a preview guide, for weather. That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. I loved the old community bulletin boards and stuff like that. And I'm working on a channel that I hope to emulate some of that stuff on. We'll see if it comes true or not. I've been actually toying with it for over a year, and I haven't been able to get to the point where I really like what I'm doing. I've showed it off to Dawn a couple of times and gotten her input, because it's very hard not to have the equipment. It takes specialized equipment, and I'm trying to do mock-ups with Filmora, which is not an easy task to do. I get a drink here. Um, but Retro Cable Net is what I have called it, and it's going to be bulletin board. And the bulletin board is being designed to be of service to the vinyl community, which will average, we'll have shows coming up and different, chart statistics and stuff. It's aimed at the vinyl community. And I hope to have that up this summer sometime. I don't know if it's going to, I doubt that it'll be its own channel. It'll probably show up on TKR Video Central. I don't really think it fits Chart Zone. Um, but we'll see. I don't know. Um, I'd also like to do a lot. I've been watching some of these streaming channels. Some people have put on streaming channels that are live music. And I know it's possible. I have checked into it, and I eventually intend to do that with Obscuria, where you'll get all of the Obscurias just over and over again. Because I'm up to over 600 songs on Obscuria over the last 5 years. And that doesn't include regional Obscuria, which just launched in October. Um, there's a lot of interesting mix of stuff, but some of them are so old. I was looking at a couple of the early ones last week, and I'm like, God, compared to what I'm doing now, because I was doing those with Magic before I got Filmora, and then I started doing them on Filmora, and I've changed the format 2 or 3 times just to make it a little bit more jazzy, a little bit more snazzy, hoping to get more listens, which I am. I've started adding the song information to each song daily. Guys, if you don't check out my show descriptions, you're missing a lot of stuff, especially on Radio Retro Countdown, where I really go crazy. Um, I have a lot of cool stuff in the show description. So if you're watching on your phone, I get it. If you're watching on your TV, I get it. But if you're watching on your PC or tablet, you don't have an excuse. Um, Check out my show notes. There's always good links there. A couple of charities I support, how you can hook up with our Patreon or our Ko-Fi or Ko-Fi coffee. Um, And I am always dropping little trivia notes, especially about um, on the radio retro stuff. I tell you what channel it comes from, what station, what the date was, where the city is, discussing how all the stuff going on and at the time. Um, that show is more fun for me than practically everything else because I'm discovering all these songs that radio stations have run that I've never heard of. Um, Even though a lot of them, there are songs that were on at the same time I was doing the Kirkham Report charts in the 80s that I don't remember the songs. So I'm like, wow, I missed something. I actually missed something. Um, it's just one of those things. Right now, Flashback Tracks on Thursdays is in the middle of doing the year by year pop singles chart from RPM magazine. This is the Canadian equivalent of Billboard. RPM ran to till 2000, and we're up to the mid 70s, I think now. So I got another 20 or so weeks out of it to go. And then when we get done with RPM, I'm not sure where we'll go. We've already done, oh, excuse me, all of my personal charts, and we did the Record World Singles chart, and we did the Billboard Adult Contemporary chart. Now we're doing RPM, and there'll be other ones where we just run down the number one songs. Those are, if nothing else, nostalgia, and those will also be showing on TKR Chart Zone starting soon. I am finding out that the collab feature on YouTube is a major pain in the ass. It's fun and it's going to be great, but I can't sort the collabs when I move them over, so they're all going to show up in the wrong order, which is not what I wanted to do on the Chart Zone channel. But Chart Zone, as I said, does have its original stuff too. And by the way, if you want to see me do an original Chart Zone list, if you have suggestions, go over to the first Chart Zone show, the male sensitive male one. Listen to it, leave a comment, leave a suggestion. If I use the suggestion, you will get credit in the opening panels for suggesting it. It'll be thanks to blah, blah, blah for suggesting this list. I love to do those. I'm always enjoying those. And these lists are designed to be fun, obviously, sensitive male music. We've got stuff that, hey, this hasn't aged well. I'm going to have Canadian hits most Americans have never heard of. Another one that's being supplied by the new RPM books I bought a few months ago. Um, I love that's something else I love, and I've talked about on the show. But the chart stuff, I am a huge chart fan. This is the one of the Billboard Hot 100s week by week books from the Whitburn Record Research Company. Um, I have a ton of these kinds of books, and I love trivia in this way because it helps me find out a lot about other artists. I have most of the Whitburn's major releases. I did not buy these type of books for Cashbox or Record World when I had the chance. They're no longer available, but I do have them for most of Billboard's charts, and I also have them for the Chum chart in Canada, RPM in Canada, a couple of local ones from Chicago, WLS and WCFL. And uh, there are other books out there. They just released a new series of books on the official singles chart from the UK. Why they divided it into decades, I don't know. It's a pain in the butt, but I don't know if it's the actual charts or if it's a compilation of the facts like the Whitburn books are. Um, but they're definitely on my future must-have list. Um, and there, I'd still love to find a book on the ARIA charts from Australia, which I have not been able to find. There were a couple issued a few years ago, but they're hella expensive. And there are some from other cities. There's Hartford. Somebody from Hartford has compiled a book of the charts from a Hartford radio station in the 60s and 70s. I'd be interested in that. I love stuff like that. Those are my technical manuals. I've talked about this on the show a number of times. Scotty has his technical manuals on Star Trek. For me, it's the Whitburn Research Library and everything else. I can spend hours going through that stuff and enjoying it every second of it. Um, where is the live show going to go? I don't know. This is going to be something that you guys can chime in about. If there's particular topics you'd like me to tackle on the live stream, I will. I don't want to get political, but I'll talk about music and records and vinyl community stuff, and also wrestling. I'm a big wrestling fan. Thank you so much, Kim. I hated wrestling until I met my wife. And then also movies. Um, I'm into all kinds of stuff. So if there's something in particular you'd like me to talk about or give my opinion on, I'm always willing to do that. You can drop me a line or you can bring it up in the live chat every week. Doing this show every Sunday at noon is going to be a fun challenge. Um, most of the time, it's not going to be an issue. Hopefully, it'll be as fun as I think it will be, and I hope everybody enjoys listening as well. And it'll of course be up on archive on all three places: YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. I tried to put it on my Chart Zone channel, and I couldn't get it to connect today, so I'll try to do that as well for next week. But um, it's going to be an interesting adventure because trying to make an hour go by on your own is not always easy. um, and of course, these are just the regular live streams. I also do live streams during Eurovision week every year, uh, previews and recaps of each show. And I'm sure there'll be some other stuff too. I'd love to put together. Oh, goodness. I'd love to put together some kind of a live trivia show, but I don't know how that's going to work. I've seen other vinyl community and reseller community and vintage communities try it, and it doesn't always work. But that's another thing that's on the back burner for later this year. Um, I thank everybody for coming by today. I think we're going to call it quits for a few minutes early today. It's more usually going to be an hour, but I'm rapidly running out of things to talk about. So I will get off here. I hope you'll stay with TKR Video Central. Every day of the week, there's always new stuff. The Obscuria, Monday through Friday at 11. Regional Obscuria, Monday and Friday at 1. Radio Retro Rewind, Tuesday and Thursday at 1. I have weekly shows as well, the long form shows, and a few specials and surprises along the way. Plus, I have TKR Chart Zone. I have Mixcloud, TKR Mixcloud, and I will soon have TKR Substack. So I hope you'll be coming over to check reviews and stuff out there, tip sheets and the like. So until next week at the same time, I hope you'll be here. I'm TC Kirkham, TKR Video Central, TKR Chart Zone, and the Kirkham Report. Thank you for joining us at TKR Studios for my first live stream. I will see you on the interweb, baby. Ciao, baby.